Hey, what's up, Christopher? This is a demo for you for two sabers of yours that I've got. First is the older version Phoenix Props 7-chamber Starkiller. It's a very nice Starkiller. There was a lot of work involved with getting this installed correctly, though. We'll go over this one second. And then the other saber I've got for you, excuse me, is your 89 Sabers Fallen Order. So this particular version of the Fallen Order is probably one of my favorites. I like the V3. I think this might be a V3. I think it is. All right, but it is installed with a Proffies. They both are. They both have stock V3s in here for your Neopixel connector. This was a 2-button setup, so your big switch here is going to be your power. Your little tactile here on the bottom, that's going to be your auxiliary. All right. Blade retention screws are underneath these greeblies. So if you ever need to get the chassis out for any reason, it's actually only underneath this greebly, sorry. So you would pull this bottom one out. There are 3 grub screws under here. The one that is closest to the emitter, that is the chassis retention. All right, so we'll go ahead and just unscrew this guy. It's a pretty tight fit in here because I do put a lot of stuff in here. There's not a whole lot of space to do it, but I somehow get it in there. So just be mindful of that. It is a tight fit, but everything goes on fine. When you take this off, this is what your chassis looks like. All right, so it says Fallen Order over here in Arabic. Solo Sabers over here for me. You do have a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost dark side here, but then I also like to put this little pixel accent right in front of it. All right, so that lights up the pommel. Works really well. You have a removable battery. You ask for kill switches on these, so you got a kill switch right here. And of course your Proffies board. Access to your SD card and your micro USB. You never have to move the board. All right, so that's what all that looks like wrapped up in a package there. No wires showing. We'll go ahead and we'll throw a battery in this guy. Come over here and flip our kill switch. These have your fonts on them and your configs, so all I did was load it up for you. This one didn't even have to be loaded. I just went ahead and I loaded it anyway just to be on the safe side. So that's what you've got your pommel accent doing. Go ahead and take the handle and throw it on. So tighten this all the way down so it locks in there. And then you can see your pommel very nicely here. You did put a few fiber optic cables in some of these holes, so everything's lighting up very well. Very nice shine through. Come over here and hit power. This is an extremely loud saber. Auxiliary. And twist off. We'll throw a blade in here. As always, I'm going to use a shorter test blade if it'll fit. These 89 Sabers are kind of tough. Yeah, it'll fit in here. I'm using a shorter TriStar test blade, but it is set up for a full-length blade. All right. I'll just lock this down real quick. You have a single blade retention screw right there where my finger's at. There it is. It zoomed in on it. All right. Go to another font. This sounds like the Kyberphonic Fallen Order bundle. We'll play a soundtrack. Oops, went into mute mode. Long press on the power to do that, right? And then another long press to turn it off. Another sound font. So blade lock, or blaster bolt's just tapping, right? Blade lockup is holding the auxiliary down and hitting the saber. We'll do like 2 more, right? Magenta. So I like how you kept the pommel blue for that broken circuitry look. Go ahead and take the blade out of this, and then of course I'll show you that the kill switch is working as well. Weathering looks nice on here. It is clear coated on there as well, so that's good. It won't come off. Go ahead and unscrew the handle. And then we can turn this on. So we come over here and flip our switch, and it kills everything just like it should. All right. And when you're done, you can come over here from the positive side by the speaker. You might be able to get out with your finger. If not, just grab a tool. I usually use my tweezers, but like an Allen key will work as well, and pop it out. It is a pretty tight fit to get this stuff in the back to fit in there. All right. So that's your Fallen Order saber. We'll put this off to the side. I will not be able to send the box that this came in back to you, because once this is all installed, it's too big for the box. All right. The 89 Sabers box is designed to hold this saber in 2 halves, and of course with the static chassis, it's not possible. All right. And then secondly, we've got your Starkiller. A good Starkiller saber is always my favorite saber design. This was a really nice saber. This is probably the second time only I've ever done this particular style, or this version from 7 Chambers and Phoenix Props. It is a 2-button setup, so I gave you some brass tactiles here. Your front switch is your power, your back is your auxiliary. You got the brass chamber add-ons, so of course the crystal base in brass, and then the chamber fins. I did put a real quartz crystal in there like you asked me, one that almost reached the rod but fell just shy of it. So that was on purpose there to give you just a little bit of space between the two, and that lights up very well. All right. Also with a stock V3 Neopixel connector. Your blade retention screw is pretty well hidden. I don't know if it might have a hard time focusing, but there it is. That little grub screw right there, that's your blade retention. All right. And then how to get to everything is you just want to unscrew the handle. So yeah, a few modifications have to be done on this guy in order to install it cleanly and get all of the wires out of the chamber. I had to come through here. I take all this apart. I do Dremel a wire path from here all the way back here, and I drill a hole in the back so I could shoot my wires back into this black piece and out to the chassis. But I made sure it's something that you never see as long as this shroud is on, which is something that doesn't come off. All right. But when you take this off, this is what your chassis looks like. It says Starkiller right there in airbrush. Just some circuitry there. You can see your Proffies board, also access to your SD card and micro USB, and then you can see your kill switch back there as well. All right. Also has a 28mm dark side speaker from Smuggler's Outpost, and a removable battery setup as well. All right, so we'll throw a battery in this guy. I did put on the updated config that you sent me, and I'll show you that here in a second. But we'll throw the battery in, come over here and flip the switch. Throw the handle on. Lock it down tight. When you lock it down tight, you have 2 different sets of configurations for grips on a Starkiller usually. You have like the cross configuration, which is what you have, and then you also have an X configuration. This is the cross configuration. Then when you tighten this handle, this bar right here will be in line with your control box. And then you can see your crystal chamber or your quartz crystal lighten up very well until we turn it on.
I'm ready.
We'll throw a blade in here real quick as well. Both of these take 1-inch diameter Neopixel blades. This is the light side version of Kyberphonic's Secret Apprentice. Very nice. Shine through on your quartz. Blade locked up.
I let you live. Where is he? Darth Sidious. My little green friend.
And we'll do one more.
Commander Skywalker, do you copy?
Chamber looks very nice. And we'll turn it off and take the blade out. So yeah, everything in this guy is working as it should too, and we will go over that kill switch functionality one more time. All right, when we're done, we'll just take the handle off. I did have to modify the screw for the Covertech because it was shoved inside the handle. I took it off, cut a few threads off, cut too many threads off, so took the Covertech, bored it out a little bit so that I could drop that screw back into it and locked it down, and everything is good to go. All right, but when we turn this on and we come over here and flip our kill switch over here, it kills everything just like it should. All right. And that's pretty much your Starkiller and your Fallen Order. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will box these up and get them out in the mail to you first thing tomorrow morning. Thanks, man.